in an attempt to make a video while making an excuse that it's for school at the same time. I bring you a video about radioactive food. To get this out of the way, a big amount of your food has radiation in it, whether you like it or not. But don't worry, because it probably won't affect you in any way. Throughout this, we'll be using PCI to measure the foods, which means puricuri, picocuri, which is just a very, very tiny measure of radiation. So when you Google something like most radioactive food, it'll give you a list from something like sciencefocus.com. So you know, when there's science in the name, and this is for a science class, it's probably going to be reliable. The first foods are just basil nuts and butter beans. And I don't know about regular people, but as a part-time vegan, I can say I probably ate these at one point. I really have no idea what I eat when the food's vegan, but if it comes from the ground and it tastes like dirt, it's vegan. However, once you get down on the list, you see bananas. And that's something I know, because if you make some bread out of bananas, it's amazing. And it's also third on the list of radioactive food, and it stands at 3,000 PCI, which sounds like a lot, but it probably isn't unless you're like a monkey. But since humans mostly use the internet, I'm gonna say you're probably safe. Next one on the list was potatoes, and while most people eat potatoes as french fries as a side, this one had me spooked. See, I had relatives in Soviet Russia when Stalin starved a bunch of Ukraine and sent a bunch of people to the gulags for fun. My great-grandfather and his family had to hide a huge sack of potatoes to survive the winter while Stalin was going off on his battle royale. So since my family were farmers and they had to give all of their food to Stalin, or else the gulags were your destiny, they hid a bag of potatoes and rationed it to the point where the whole family had to share one potato a day. So I'm wondering, what was the radiation of these people if the PCI was 3,400? But then again, they shared a whole potato, and they probably didn't live long enough to get diagnosed with cancer. But for us Americans, we'll basically just eat potatoes as they're cut and deep fried, so we're all good. Next food on the test is carrots. And ever since I was really young, I remember my mom telling me about how good carrots are for your eyes. But now that I find out that these things have a PCI of 3,400, you can have a trade-off. You like eyesight, or you like having a non-radiant body. Red meat is right after carrots with 3,000 PCI. And this also has me spooked because I love myself some low-quality meat, but to be honest, most people in this generation are like, no, red meat bad. So I guess we're all good on that one too. The next few aren't that important except avocados. I found this one important because I can put guacamole on anything and it'll most likely help it. But whenever people see that I eat it, they say I'm really white, like as in skin tone. So white people should be checking their PCI levels when eating this, because I guess they're the only ones that eat this. And it's at a level of 2,500. So watch it, whiteys. These ones are just beer and water, which aren't that important. I mean, if you're drinking beer in this science class, then you shouldn't have to worry about this PCI level of 390, because you're probably already trying to kill yourself by getting so drunk you'll die from alcohol poisoning. And water isn't that important because if you just drink a bunch of water, you'll throw up. So I guess you drink so much water that the amount of radiation in it, which is 170 PCI, it won't affect you because, it's out of your body. The last one is peanut butter with a PCI of 120, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anyone who eats peanut butter and jelly sandwiches anymore. That's not where it's at. If you are still in the state of a PB&J, try Nutella sandwiches, because you won't get radiation as much as peanut butter, and it tastes like a dessert every time. And it's a sandwich, so that kind of gets rid of our peanut butter problem. Overall, eating these things won't hurt you, or at least I think so. But it's kind of fun thinking how if you avoided all forms of radiation, you basically freeze and starve in the end. Kind of like a gulag. So stay safe, everyone. And maybe one day we'll all live in a gulag lifestyle and we'll all be radioactive free.